You're watching Power Breakfast on CNBC TV 18. Let's move on to a CNBC TV 18 exclusive. Now, India is in a good wicket in 2019. That's the word coming in from Deepak Parekh. Speaking to CNBC TV 18's Priya Shet, he adds that the liquidity issue has been resolved. The NBFCs have now started lending.
As we enter 2019, how do the macro indicators look like? Is the worst over, perhaps, going forward? What is your assessment?
No, I think India is in a good wicket. We had this temporary liquidity issue, which the Reserve Bank from October, November, December have pumped in 40 to 50,000 crores each month under the open market operation to ensure there is sufficient liquidity in the banking system. So that has really eased the liquidity crunch which was there. And so I think the worst is definitely over.
So when you talk about the whole liquidity issue, what do you make of the current issue firstly, and also is it really a liquidity crunch considering the credit has been growing at 13 to 15%?
No, there has been a liquidity crunch. There's asset liability mismatch is also there, and we have to ensure that the mismatch is too limited because it is not viable to borrow short-term and lend medium-term or long-term. So the ALM mismatch which was there with some of the institutions has to be corrected and is being corrected. So I think there also, and the regulators may come out with some additional capital adequacy measures or prudential norms or something. So yeah, I think the worst is definitely over and liquidity is back in the system. I think NBFCs have started lending again, and many of them you'll see enter the capital market and raise some additional capital before it becomes mandatory.
The RBI recently allowed a one-time restructuring as far as the MSMEs are concerned. But do you think that sends out a bad message considering the fact that it is contrary to the RBI stand, saying that let's not postpone the pain going forward?
No, but I think we have to look at MSME with a little softer touch. They do play an important role, and they are always discriminated against by the banks for lending because they're tiny companies, they're small, medium companies. And the problem they have is that they have large debtors. The big companies, the bigger boys don't pay on time. The bigger boys take much longer to pay, and they have a working capital crunch. So I think giving them a little flexibility and a little moratorium will also help and is necessary.
All right, and with less than 100 days to go before the Lok Sabha elections, the government is planning to roll out a slew of measures for the agricultural sector. The reports have suggested that the centre could be planning a direct income support scheme. Additional Secretary at the Agriculture Minister Ashok Dalwai did not confirm that such a scheme is in the making. However, he did say that the infrastructure is in place to roll out a scheme of such magnitude.
The direct benefit transfer after Aadhaar came into existence, it has been tried out in several schemes, whether it is scholarship for the students, the pensions for the old and the widows, for example, where the direct benefit transfer is already happening, including, for example, in LPG, where a direct benefit transfer scheme is in operation. That means today India has got good experience of handling DBT for different kinds of schemes. Now, if that is so, nothing should be difficult if we would like to transfer anything to the farmers. So I can only say so much that I am not aware of the scheme that government would be bringing. But if and when the government takes a decision, then the executive machinery is always capable of rising to the occasion and using the existing platforms to achieve what the government directs.
All right, with that, we slip into a short break. Come back, we talk about Titan released its third quarter business update. We'll get you all the details of what the company said on the other side.